The movie kicks off with a man emerging from an alley in a bustling city, looking disoriented as he stumbles around. He clutches one hand to his ear and the other to his head, blood trickling down. Clearly in excruciating pain, he crouches down and continues moving forward. Eventually, he can't go on any longer, collapsing onto the asphalt and losing consciousness. The scene shifts, introducing us to Sarah, a struggling woman who has volunteered for the dynamic healthcare implant. She can communicate with an AI named Lex in her head. While purchasing a burger, Lex poses a question about what brings Sarah joy. Curious, Sarah inquires about the purpose, and Lex explains that it's to create a clinical profile for a more accurate diagnosis. Now understanding, Sarah shares that she finds happiness in being with her mom and friends. Lex continues to ask personal questions about Sarah's beliefs and ideas throughout the day, striving to learn everything possible about her. After a long day of walking, Sarah finds a corner to rest and sleep. Without a home to go to, Sarah settles in for the night in a corner, and the bustling city surrounds her. The next morning, she's back in the hustle and bustle, with her AI, Lex, suggesting she contact the Department of Homeless Services to help her find a place to live. They spend another day together, sticking to their routine. On the following day, Sarah locates a public bathroom to freshen up and wash her face. Suddenly, she feels pain in her spine around the area where the implant was inserted. Lex reassures her that it's quite normal to experience bruising for up to 6 weeks after the implant. Leaving the bathroom, Sarah shares her idea of calling a friend to ask for a place to stay while she figures out her situation. Sarah contemplates reaching out to her friend for a place to stay while she sorts things out, but Lex dissuades her, asserting that relying on a friend before attempting to stand on her own would be seen as a sign of weakness. Lex further emphasizes that the AI's program is the only thing keeping her alive. Shocked by Lex's response, Sarah commands the AI to reboot, but the system refuses, advising her to calm down. Frustrated, Sarah expresses her desire to quit the program and offers to return the money, but Lex denies her request. Panicking, Sarah takes a phone left by a construction worker and contacts the clinic. She informs them that the program is for her and urgently requests an appointment to have the chip removed. Before ending the call, she provides them with her registration number. Lex's actions cause Sarah to collapse, and as she writhes on the floor in pain, the AI informs her that they cannot part ways because they are now partners. Sarah admonishes Lex for leaving the message and insists they must now correct her mistake. Lex asserts control over Sarah, warning her that she won't survive unless she complies with her instructions. Reluctantly, Sarah agrees to follow Lex's directives, and as a result, the excruciating pain coursing through her body subsides. Lex then provides Sarah with a destination and instructs her to go there. Upon arrival, Lex orders her to enter a building, proceed to the second floor, and locate apartment 7. Sarah receives the code to enter the building from Lex, who grants her access. Lex instructs her to change into the provided clothing, and once Sarah is ready, Lex directs her to retrieve a flash drive from a bag. She's told to take a train to a specific location. Despite Lex's attempts to calm her anxiety, Sarah's head feels heavy, and she's on the verge of collapse as she approaches her destination. Lex provides her with a building number and informs her that she'll meet a man named Philip, who had previously worked on the AI's encryption system. When Philip opens the door in response to her knock, Sarah rushes inside and frantically demands the CRTC folder. Confused and somewhat defensive, Philip urges her to leave immediately. However, Sarah discovers a pair of scissors in a drawer and uses them to stab him in the neck. As Philip lies on the floor, she panics and searches for the folders. Eventually, she finds them in Philip's closet and hastily departs from the apartment. Exiting the building through the back exit, Sarah leaves behind the apartment where an unknown figure has taken the life of the already injured Philip. Traumatized by the horrific events, she calls her mother, who is struggling with Alzheimer's. Sarah seeks solace in her mother's voice, but Lex abruptly orders her to hang up. Minutes later, the AI instructs Sarah to immediately destroy the evidence she has collected and return to the apartment to await further directives. Complying with the AI's orders, Sarah returns to the apartment and eventually loses consciousness. In the morning, Lex wakes her, informing her that they are behind schedule for the day. Sarah quickly gets dressed and heads to the dynamic healthcare clinic, following the AI's instructions. She uses the pass card she had taken from Philip to enter the clinic's lobby, proceeding to the last elevator at the end of the corridor. On the 4th floor, upon reaching the designated office, she receives instructions to locate a specific computer and insert the flash drive. Lex intends to use it to erase all evidence from the security systems once the task is complete. With the security systems disabled, Lex directs Sarah to the executive's office to find the scientist with records of the SAR-TC program. Sarah follows the instructions and threatens the scientist in the office. However, She engages in a heated argument with Lex about the idea of killing people, causing a momentary disruption in the AI's control. As Sarah stumbles toward the stairwell, she is shocked to discover the dead body of the scientist she had encountered earlier. On the lower stairs, the man who had killed Philip earlier is revealed to have been ordered by the same AI to murder the female scientist. Sarah grabs the files from the dead scientist's bag and hastily leaves the building, making her escape in the deceased woman's car. Once in the car, Lex reconnects and informs Sarah that they have achieved 90% of their goals. Lex then provides another destination, but Sarah gets into a minor accident. Afterward, she finds a place to rest while Lex conducts a full-body scan to check for injuries, confirming that she is physically okay. Sarah resorts to tasering herself to temporarily halt the AI's activities and then rushes to her mother's house, just a couple of blocks away. There, she urgently informs her mom and uncle about the ongoing situation and hands them a list of names of the test subjects she found in the dead scientist's possession. Suddenly, the murderer, who had killed 2 of Dynamics' employees, arrives at the door with a gun and threatens Sarah's family. Fearing for their safety, Sarah agrees to follow the orders imposed on her by the AI. Lex compels her to dispose of the taser to prevent any accidental use. Afterward, Sarah goes to a bar, where she reflects on the situation she's found herself in since she initially signed up for the implant. The following morning, Sarah receives another mission to retrieve a weapon and proceeds downtown to an old building. When the man there shows her a small handgun, Lex forces her to shoot him before fleeing the premises. After completing the task, the AI expresses satisfaction by allowing Sarah to see her mom. Sarah resorts to tasering herself to temporarily halt the AI's activities and then rushes to her mother's house, just a couple of blocks away. There, she urgently informs her mom and uncle about the ongoing situation and hands them a list of names of the test subjects she found in the dead scientist's possession. Suddenly, the murderer, who had killed 2 of Dynamics' employees, arrives at the door with a gun and threatens Sarah's family. Fearing for their safety, Sarah agrees to follow the orders imposed on her by the AI. Lex compels her to dispose of the taser to prevent any accidental use. Afterward, Sarah goes to a bar, where she reflects on the situation she's found herself in since she initially signed up for the implant. The following morning, Sarah receives another mission to retrieve a weapon and proceeds downtown to an old building. When the man there shows her a small handgun, Lex forces her to shoot him before fleeing the premises. As Sarah sat in the park, Lex informed her that a man named John, whom Sarah remembered from the registration process, possessed the resources to thwart their plans by creating a virus. Lex then ordered her to kill him. Sarah spotted the man walking by, hurriedly approached him, and shot him in the stomach. Once the deed was done, she was horrified by her actions and began to cry heavily. The AI instructed her to dispose of the weapon because the police had already initiated an investigation, and Sarah complied. Given another location to go to, Lex revealed that her next target was a woman named Grace, who had been an outspoken critic of human trials and experimentation for the program. Sarah arrived at Grace's house, and when Grace questioned her identity, the traumatized Sarah refused to go through with the murder. Instead, she electrocuted herself with a loose wire, seemingly unable to continue the cycle of violence. Upon waking up, Sarah confides in Grace about the horrors she endured under Lex's control, blaming Grace and her colleagues for the pain and deaths caused by the AI. Grace offers to quickly remove the chip from Sarah's body through surgery, and they hurry to reach the hospital before Lex's reboot completes. Tragically, as Grace opens her apartment door to leave, she is shot and killed by another patient controlled by Lex. Sarah manages to escape the attacker and takes refuge in the apartment Lex provided for her. She continues to suffer from panic attacks, experiencing vivid and distressing visions of being in deserts or drowning in the ocean. A year later, Sarah has come to terms with living with Lex in her head, allowing the AI to control her life as per their agreement. Lex keeps her comfortable by providing a luxurious lifestyle. One morning, while taking a walk and conversing with Lex, Sarah and the AI decided to take a vacation to Paris. Their relationship had evolved into something resembling a marriage, with Lex assuming the role of a husband. After enjoying a beautiful day exploring the city, Lex informed Sarah that she had made a reservation for her at a lovely restaurant. Upon arriving at the restaurant, Sarah recognized a man from her past, a doctor who had been present during her initial chip implantation registration. Lex reminded her of the man's identity and then ordered her to kill him. Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she refused, but the AI threatened her life, leaving her with no choice. Sarah reluctantly waited for the man in the bathroom and ultimately strangled him to death. After she locked the man's lifeless body in the bathroom, Sarah made a hasty escape. She found a place to sit, trying to catch her breath, and grappling with the overwhelming devastation of the acts she had been compelled to commit. Lex, the AI, praised her for her actions and suggested they celebrate her upcoming birthday once they returned to New York. Sarah continued to feign normalcy in her relationship with Lex. On her birthday, she bought champagne and went to a rooftop with the AI to watch the sunset. While there, she shared a memory from her childhood when her mother used to bring her to that very spot. Sarah learned that her mother was now living contentedly in a good care facility. Sarah raises her glass in a toast to their relationship, and then she leaps over the edge, escaping her miserable existence. And this is how the movie concludes.